Hi, welcome to my videos. It's been a year now since I worked on this Bridgeport, and I kind of backburnered it. And I was looking at some of the videos, and I didn't even have the DSMA, which is right behind us over here, right behind the camera there. And I had gotten that after the last video I made retrofitting the power feed. And just other stuff got in the way, making safety valves and this and that, and lost wax castings, and now I'm getting back on this, and I just finished this up, and got the table back up there, I got the feed on, it's working perfectly. Shortened shaft, looks good, goes in the direction, you know. Then I also have a feed over here too. And I don't have this plugged in yet, but I did test it, and it's in pretty good shape. I replaced a few things on it. I fixed the shaft up here, it was broken. This accidentally got dropped, or as it was going up, it slipped on when it was going up out of a basement in the well of where the stairs are. It slipped off the lift, off the straps, and it hit against the wall. Not that bad. It broke this little arm off here, and it bent this shaft. So I ripped all that apart, take it all apart. I made a new shaft. Now the shaft from H&W was like $25. I said, well, the heck, I can make that. And then I made it and copied it. And then this little piece here was broke off. That's the lock. And I just basically drilled that out, and the old threads came right out. It was a 1/4-28, and I put this in the collet, drilled it, tapped it, put another little 1/4-28 stud in there, which I happen to have a bolt, Loctited it in, cut it off, and put it on, and there it is. So everything's in good shape. The other thing, I don't know if you can see this handle here, this was bent. I got that out, and I was able to get the little piece that's left over out, and put that in. Now I got the readout on. That's all been set up. This is a good readout, by the way. This is a really, really good readout. It's Chinese, oh, well, you know. And you want to zero out, you hit the X, hit the 0. And then you have different setups, like 01, 02, 03. And how I do it is usually, I don't know what this INC stands for, maybe somebody can tell me. I use that as the basic. So let's say I pick up a corner, and I zero it, now that's my corner. Okay, and I always go back to that. So now 02 would be a bunch of holes, 01 would be a bunch of holes, 02 would be another setting for a slot, and so on and so on. That's how I use it. There's other things you can do with it. You can make a radius, you can do all this stuff, but you know what? I know, CNC, I'll get that little Geo 704, which is going to be next, by the way, after I get back from Florida. That's going to be doing all my radiuses and things like that. I'll just use this for basic milling. I wanted to get this done so I could get started on the Mikado that I want to build. I wanted to do it on this machine. Now the 32-inch table is right over there. Now that's a good machine. That's a belt, they call it a J-head, it's just a belt change machine. It's got a readout on it. And I had hooked it up to a VFD, variable frequency drive, yeah. And you know what? Forget variable frequency drive. Don't tell me they're any good. I talked Mr. Pete out of using one for his mill. He got one on his drill press. He kept it on there. He was going to hook it up to the mill, forget the variable speed. Awful. So that machine is going to go back over here. Now that I had originally put the chucker in the middle, so I had the bar feed that was going to use on that machine. And I had a surface grinder there. Dan and I, about 2 weeks ago, moved the surface grinder all the way up to the front room. And today, I'm waiting for him to come here. We're going to move the chucker forward about 4 feet, and then we're going to put this mill next to it. So I have 2 mills. This one, old mill, will be set up with a super spacer for doing all different spacing, always on there, and a rotary table. So I'll have to deal with that. I got this machine. I'm a one-man shop, so I work here and there. If I had to put a vise up there, I could put a vise up there. I've got 4 Kurt vices, so I'll put one up there, and I can use it real quick, you know, to make something, or maybe put a smaller vise on there, so I have the vise, and maybe the vise and the super spacer for doing hexes or squares. It'll always be there. And I'm excited about this. I got this at the Cabin Fever auction last year. I believe it was Don Orr's from Loco Parts, but I got it from that auction, and that's a nice light, good light on here. I have these from an old mill that I had when I had a long table, and I made those out of aluminum. They're on there, and of course the vise goes right here. And I got the readout set up here. I got the one-shot lube, which you saw me do. I want to get some more collets. The other thing I got to do is hook up this, which is a spray mist, which I'm going to hook up somehow over here, or on here, or up here, maybe up there, and put the spray mist on here. And I got to figure out a way of holding this, maybe a clamp on it like that or something, some way to hold that, come up with a clamp. Now this machine, on the other machine, there's a little bump here with a set screw. This machine doesn't have it. I think they eliminated it. Now I used to put the indicator in there, and I can also set this up with something to hold the spray mist. But these spray mists are good to have. This is an older one I had. I got to make sure it works. I got to check it out. Here's the part you put it in. It's got a little piece of metal on there to hold it in the tank. I got to come up with a tank, and I'll check this out later. And I got a place to put the air, and you just turn it on. And it works on a siphon system. And I might put it up on here, over there, or somewhere. I've got to come up with the best place to put it. That's going to definitely go on there, and they're recommended. I got to paint this yet. If you can see the color difference, this is my Battleship Gray, and this is the original color, the Bridgeport. This is good epoxy paint, and I'm going to paint this afternoon. When I have some time, paint it all up. Of course, I don't paint this part, and that'll be completed. So it's basically, with the exception of this spray mist, which I need to put on next, basically completed. So thank God for that. Get that back over there. I get some other setups. I want to get some more parallels. I want to get an 1/8 inch parallels, which I have. I need a set for this machine, so I keep it with that machine. I have a set of clamps. I had to get another set for there eventually. Now I can switch them because, like I said, I'm only using one machine. I can switch them. I have other sets of clamps around. And I need a set of clamps, but I want to get a set of 1/32 parallels, or 1/16 or parallels maybe, 1/4 inch heavy thick ones, and then I set an 1/8 for this machine. And I have a set of wavy parallels, which are good too. Also, one thing I want to get is two indicators on here to indicate the head. This is really hard to indicate because you have not only this way, you have it this way too. Well, actually, it doesn't. That's the one drawback about this. This spins this way, actually to the center here, but this way, when you, like this, the screwdriver, it doesn't pivot like this in the middle. It pivots like this because it pivots around this radius. So it's hard to kind of set. But with that double setup there, it's easy because you set it this way, 0, 0, turn it that way, 0, 0, and you're all set. And keep checking it back and forth, and then when you get it to the total 0, you're fine. Then, furthermore, a good thing to do is to put the current vise on here and do the bottom of the vise. Because if you're going to do the bottom of the vise, then you know it's set up to the bottom of the vise, depending on how good your vise is. Maybe a nick on there or something, you don't know. So that's just a double check that way. If it needs to be tweaked in, you tweak it in. I got the quick handle on here. I don't have a quick, on that machine I have the quick stop, you push a button to slide it up. I might take it off that machine and put it on here and then use this one over there. This works too though. It's pretty good. It works as good as any of them. Works just as good, except you don't have this micro adjustment on that. But you micro adjustment by the up and down. I got new dials on here, all new dials, which you don't use them anyway, but it looks good. Looks good, So that's it. I mean, you don't need any automatic feed up and down. That's like an extra thing. I got a new shaft in here, fix that. Motor runs fine, that works great. The variable speed works good. And so that pretty much does it for retrofitting a Bridgeport with a new power feed and some of the other stuff I've done on it, the one-shot lube. Another thing I did too is it was a good idea to put a two duplex outlets on the back bolted to the machine with one cord coming out of it, because I got four things. I got 1, 2, and 2 feeds. They all work off of 110. So I got one cord with one box in the back there. Makes it a lot simpler than have all these extension cords and nonsense. And I got to put one on that machine too when I get time. I'm gonna put... Okay, so the other thing I want to mention is that, what was that? What was I going to mention? I said about the gang plug on the back. I need to put one on that machine. And otherwise, everything's in pretty good shape. I think the bearings are pretty good in here. I don't know, that's just the adjustment in the clutch here. There it is, it's in now. I don't know, there it is. Machine is there's nothing really wrong with the Bridgeport machines. They really don't go that bad. I mean, you get a readout for it, and you get the new 2 nuts in here and the one on the bottom. They're like $100 investment. You've got almost a new machine. Just the Gibbs up. Don't forget, you're only working in a small area 90% of the time. Okay, sometimes you work on bigger pieces. But most of the time you're working in a small area. It's accurate enough for what we do in live steam or any work, really. Bridgeport's a good machine. You can pick these up anywhere from, gee, I paid $600 for that one. This one here, somebody gave me, actually. So a good friend of mine gave it to me. And I had to redo it. It was kind of screwed up. I got it all fixed up, and it's really like a brand new machine now. So it looks great. It's going to serve me for a long time, the rest of my life. And maybe my sons, I don't know. But good enough. So anyway, I think that completes, finally, after a year of absence, finally completes the retrofitting of a Bridgeport with the one-shot lube and a servo power feed. So thanks for watching my videos, and we'll see you again on the next video. And don't forget to subscribe.